Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Madam Attorney General.
Morning.
I'm very concerned about continuing sanctuary city policies in many jurisdictions around the U.S. We've talked about this before.
Yes.
Often, defenders of those policies couch it in terms of not wanting to dissuade illegals who would be witnesses or who are victims from reporting crime. However, a lot of these policies also apply to not reporting illegals who are arrested or convicted of criminal offenses. In other words, they're on the criminal end of an event, as we saw, of course, tragically in the murder in San Francisco. Do you think it should be disallowed for a local jurisdiction to prohibit its police force from reporting illegal status of somebody who's arrested or convicted of a crime?
Thank you, Senator. You certainly have raised a very important issue that affects the interaction with the local jurisdictions, as you've noted, with our federal policies for removal of dangerous aliens, particularly those who are coming out of federal custody. And your reference, again, to the tragic murder in San Francisco is one that has highlighted this issue. Certainly with regard to local policies, they vary across the country. And certainly we actually are in litigation now on two particular matters where we're defending the Department of Homeland Security and their request to have jurisdictions report to them when local illegal immigrants are finished with state cases and therefore removable. And we currently actually have one situation where—
I don't want to cut you off, Madam Attorney General, but my time is limited. Do you agree or disagree with policies that prohibit reporting illegal status of somebody who's arrested or convicted of a crime?
Well, Senator, with the current state of the law and in terms of how local jurisdictions are handling this matter, that is a local matter. What we have done, however, as a policy—
Well, actually, it's not just a local matter.
We have a new policy regarding how we deal with cities that have in the past refused to either turn individuals over to us for deportation or provide us the relevant information.
There's federal law on the matter. 8 U.S.C. 1373 says that no government entity, including state or local, or official, may prohibit or in any way restrict any government entity or official from sending to or receiving from the Immigration and Naturalization Service information regarding the citizenship or immigration status, lawful or unlawful, of any individual. So it's a federal matter, too. Isn't that correct?
Yes, and we are defending that position in court now.
So based on your defense of that position, you disagree with policies that prevent reporting to ICE, to federal authorities, illegal status of arrestees or convicted criminals? Is that fair to say?
If those policies impact the particular statute that you mentioned, our view would be that they would fall under, again, the laws, the position that we are currently defending, which is jurisdictions should report. Our issues are when jurisdictions do not report, as you quoted in the statute, to ICE for removal, the information that we would need to effectuate the removal of those defendants.
Well, in Louisiana that I represent, New Orleans has just announced and expanded sanctuary city policy. They had some elements of sanctuary city policy. They have just finalized and announced a far expanded policy that would include absolutely prohibiting New Orleans Police Department from reporting to ICE or any federal authority illegal status of someone, again, put to the side victims, witnesses, someone who's been arrested and convicted of a crime. Now, NOPD, through its spokesman Tyler Gamble, said publicly, and it's quoted in the press, I'll be happy to give it to you, that the Justice Department and the Federal Consent Decree Monitor were very involved in discussions leading to this policy and approved the revised policy. Do you know if that's correct?
What I can tell you is that the policy in question was one that the New Orleans Police Department felt that they needed to effectively police New Orleans, but as my understanding, does not prohibit them from providing information to the federal authorities when we need that information as part of our ICE responsibilities. So essentially, that is my understanding of that situation, but certainly if you...
Specific question, did the Justice Department approve the policy?
I've given you my understanding of the situation, and so I would refer you to the specific terms of our consent decree with New Orleans, as you can see what is specifically approved there or not. My understanding is that
Justice Department approve the policy?
my understanding is that
NOPD
New Orleans does provide information to us for removal of illegal immigrants, so that we can, in fact, fulfill our ICE responsibilities.
Well, this policy specifically prohibits the New Orleans Police Department from reporting illegal status, including of folks arrested and convicted of crimes. This policy specifically prohibits the criminal sheriff from telling ICE when he is releasing from his local prison somebody who is in illegal status, specifically prohibits that. So that's very troublesome, particularly given the statement that the Justice Department approved this policy.
That's not my understanding of the terms of their policy. They would be allowed to provide information as required under the statute that you quoted earlier to ICE authority so that we could effectuate our removal responsibilities for those individuals. And that is consistent with the policy.
Including if ICE asked them to do this on a regular basis to report any arrestee, person convicted who is illegal status, and any person being released from jail who is illegal status?
I'm not aware of prohibitions to that, Senator, and as I indicated before, that would be consistent with the policy which we have just recently announced regarding cities that do have a practice of not providing that information, of where we have individuals in Bureau of Prison custody who ordinarily would have been released to a state detainer to answer to state charges, which we do take very seriously, in situations where those jurisdictions have indicated they would not return the person to us at the end of a state proceeding or would not provide us information. In fact, we give ICE right of first refusal there.
It has wound down, but one last statement. I think if you read the policy, and words matter, and it's laid out in black and white in clear words, that's absolutely wrong. Part of it says the NOPD, that's the police department, shall not engage in, assist, or support immigration enforcement except as follows: in response to an articulated direct threat to life or public safety, or when such services are required to safely execute a criminal warrant or court order issued by a federal judge, close quote. That means that routinely, as I'm describing, they will not tell ICE when they have a arrestee or convicted criminal who's in illegal status. They will not tell ICE when they're releasing that person from a local jail.
If the Attorney General wishes, she should have a chance to respond, I think, to that before I start my time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Senator Vitter. As I indicated before, New Orleans has indicated they will provide us information. Certainly the issues that you've raised about a court order authorizing them to do so, or issues of public safety, do implicate ICE concerns and would allow us to undertake our ICE responsibilities to remove those individuals.